Hey, what's up? This is JBAT, and today I will be doing a film review for Batman Begins. And this was a reboot of the Batman film franchise. And this series was directed by Christopher Nolan, and he also went on to do two other films in this reboot of the Batman franchise. But this will be my review for Batman Begins. And it is it has like a very realistic feel and tone to it, which makes it a very good film. So this will be my review for Batman Begins, and this is J Bat.
Hey, what's up? This is me, JBAT, and today I'll be doing a film review for Batman Begins. And this is like the first film in the Christopher Nolan trilogy, which consisted of Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. So this will be my review for the first film in that trilogy. And here's like the cover. Now the version I have of it is the 2005 edition when it first came to video, and this is the two-disc deluxe edition that I had got. So it came with like a slipcase thing with the actual film in it right here. So it had like really two cases, as you can see. And it also came with a comic book, which I may do like a review on. And this contained like the very first issue of Batman, the first Detective Comics issue. So I may do like a review on that down the line. But yeah, this will be my review for Batman Begins. Now in Batman Begins, this film is it's like an origin tale really. And it takes a lot of elements from like Batman Year One, like mostly from Batman Year One a lot. But the film opens with like a young Bruce Wayne, and he's like a kid and he's playing with his childhood friend who is known as Rachel Dawes. And they're playing around like around Wayne Manor, like the yards of Wayne Manor, and Bruce stumbles into like this underground cave which is full of bats or whatever, like a whole bunch of bats like flying all around him. And he's like scared and like you know what I'm saying. Then it jumps back into like kind of not really the present, but kind of the present to like a much like older, like Bruce Wayne, who is played by Christian Bale. Now he takes over the role of Batman now, Christian Bale. So now Christian Bale is like at this prison, and he has like a fight with like some of like the inmates there, and they lock him up into like a cell, And then this guy comes along, played by Liam Neeson, who is calling himself Henry Ducard, and he grants like Christian Bale like this proposal, like saying, "Why don't you join his league of like assassins or whatever?" And if he can make this journey to like this mountain that's like way up in the mountains, because it's like in Asia too, like an Asian, like somewhere like in Asia, they don't really stress it that much, and it's like a very cold climate. If Bruce can make it there, he can become like a member of the League of Assassins or whatever. Then it jumps back into like the so Bruce does make it there eventually. Then he starts training with Henry Ducard. Then it jumps back into like the past with Bruce being as a boy again with his parents or whatever. Then you get to see like a little bit of his parents, like Thomas Wayne. And I think the mother name is Martha Wayne or whatever. You get to see them. Somewhat. Then you witness the murder of Bruce Wayne's parents, what I'm saying, as a kid. Then even Alfred's around like to help him, or whatever, to support him or whatever at the same time. So eventually you could tell that it was Alfred that kind of had a hand in raising Bruce since the parents were murdered or whatever. So then after that it jumps back into the present. It's like a lot of flashback sequences that in the beginning, not throughout the whole film, just at the beginning. It jumps back into the present with Bruce continuing to train with Ra's al Ghul, and there's like some cool, interesting fight scenes as they're training Bruce to be like this powerful assassin or whatever. They have like some philosophical like messages in it, that make a lot of sense. That Liam Neeson as Henry Ducard, that he is giving Bruce Wayne along the way, helping him to become like a good fighter and like a good assassin or whatever, what I'm saying, stuff like that. Then it jumps back into the present with Bruce and Rachel, whatever. They have like a conversation, about where he's been. It kind of jumps back and forth. That's what kind of throws it off at times. Then it jumps back into the past again with Bruce at the hearing for his parents' murderer. You know what I'm saying? And Bruce brings a gun to the hearing, and he almost is about to kill the guy that killed his parents, but like a woman steps in and shoots the guy before he gets a chance to, so he didn't even get a chance to murder his parents. After the sequence, Bruce eventually meets Falcone, Carmine, the Roman Falcone. He's like a powerful like mobster, and he's very well known like in the comic books, you know what I'm saying? And he's played by Tom Wilkinson, because he's like a very known, like I think British actor or whatever. So after he meets Carmine Falcone, he begins to travel the world, because he gets so upset that he just gives up everything and just goes on and just leaves Wayne Murray, even Alfred behind, just boom, leave out and starts traveling the world. You know what I'm saying? Going around, and he even learns like different languages and stuff, because eventually Bruce can speak like Asian and stuff like that, So he travels the world, learning different things. So eventually, that's what was going on with Bruce, you know what I'm saying? They just had it kind of mismatched like that. It eventually jumps back to him training with Ra's al Ghul, and they have like this powerful scene with like these ninjas, and it's like very, like philosopher, you know what I'm saying? It's like a bunch of bats and stuff involved. It was a cool scene with him and Henry Ducard, Liam Neeson or whatever. And then after that, it's a sequence where they says that Bruce is done. They tell him that he's complete with his training. He can be like a member of the Assassins, But they want him to kill this prisoner, and Bruce refuses to do it. So then like a fight breaks out, whatever, you know what I'm saying? He takes everybody out and everything, Then it jumps like 7 years into the present. So you can tell that Bruce Wayne was gone for 7 years away from Gotham City. He was gone for 7 years, because he comes back and he meets Alfred, and Alfred is played by Michael Caine, by the way. He's played by Michael Caine, He comes back to Gotham City after 7 years, you know what I'm saying? And not long after that, once he makes it back, he decides to start put together create something, and then he's gonna go and try to take on the criminal elements of Gotham City. So he decides to make himself into this hero or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And obviously Bruce has some issues, because his parents were murdered in front of him, and he had traveled the world and all that. So he decides to take this chance, becoming like a hero, So he makes like a costume, like I'm saying, he starts building a costume. Then the reason for what he becomes is like a bat that flies in through his window. Now this scene is taken from Batman, kind of from Batman Year One. They had that, and they could have had it in other stuff too, but I know it's in Batman Year One, like the graphic novel, where the bat flies through the window, and that's why he decides to become like a bat, like a Batman. Now eventually, like even he meets like Lucius Fox, who is played by Morgan Freeman, and he's he works like in the Applied Sciences division of Wayne Enterprises. So he's the one that's behind like all Batman's like technology, like his suits, the vehicles, like the Tumbler. I'll touch on that later. Like he even done that, which is really like the Batmobile, and like his gadgets and stuff like that. And after that, you know what I'm saying, after he meets him, whatever, you also get a look at Jonathan Crane. That's one of Bruce Wayne's Batman's like enemies, the Scarecrow. He's actually the Scarecrow, and he's in this film too. Because in this film you have really three super villains that are very known for being well-known villains of Batman. You have the Scarecrow, and he's played by Cillian Murphy. Sometimes I get his name, I don't know if it's Cillian or Cillian, but I hear that it's Cillian. Then you have Ra's al Ghul, who's played by Liam Neeson. I ain't mean to spoil it. I understand. It's good. Then you have Falcone, who's played by Tom Batman. After Bruce Wayne, he even goes back to the Batcave, the cave that was under Wayne Manor that had all the bats in it. He turns that into the Batcave along with Alfred. They crafted into the Batcave, so that's where you have all this stuff at the bat suit. Then he has then he finally meets like Commissioner, Gordon. He's not Commissioner yet. Gary Oldman, and Gary Oldman plays James Gordon or Jim Gordon, but he's not the Commissioner yet in Batman Begins, So he eventually meets him and has like a competition with him, but he's still not Batman yet. He has like on a mask, like whatever, covering himself up, And he asks Gordon how can he take down Falcone, He said, what would it take, what I'm saying? And Gordon gives him suggestions, and then he eventually does it, but he's Batman. Then when he does it, he actually becomes Batman for the first time. Then he takes out Falcone, which is like a cool sequence, you know what I'm saying? There's like in the film, and after that the film kickstarts, and then Batman is on his way, And there's like a lot of like scenes, like in there, you know what I'm saying? You have like a confrontation with like the Scarecrow, which is cool, where he gets the upper hand on Batman. And boom, like he hits him with like his fear tossing, because that's what the Scarecrow, does. And that's one of my favorite Batman villains too. He's easily one of my favorite, like top 10 Batman villains, the Scarecrow. I like him a lot, and I think Cillian Murphy did a good job playing him too, And he's not overly dressed as him. He has on basically like a suit, but he still has on like the Scarecrow mask, and he has like the fear tossing. He can shoot out like gas, And he kind of uses a lot in the film, because he uses it on Batman, Falcone and all of them like that. Even Rachel at one point, who was played by and Rachel Dawes in her present and her adult self, she was played by But yeah, I don't want to spoil too much more of the film. But eventually, that's what this was really about. Like, it was basically like Bruce Wayne, like his origin, and stuff like that. And it's a great film. It was like a reboot to the Batman film franchise after Batman and Robin. But when I first saw it, I really didn't enjoy it that much. I really didn't. I thought it was okay, but when it came to video and I began like to watch it, I went to see it at the theaters too. I went and saw it, but I thought it was just okay. But when it came to video, that's when I really began to like watch it like over and over. I must have watched it maybe 100 times. I know I haven't watched it that much, but like maybe that much. So I watched it plenty of times, lots of times. And I would consider this my favorite Batman film. I would actually consider this my favorite Batman film. But I still kind of prefer the Tim Burton to the Batman and Batman Returns, even the Joel Schumacher films. Actually over this, what I'm saying? But I thought I liked like the realistic tone of the film. It was like very, very realistic, and that's what I really liked about it the most. It had like a very like realistic feel. You can truly believe in this Batman in Gotham City. It was that real. And there were a lot of elements that were taken from Batman Year One, the graphic novel. Like you have Flash. He was in here, what I'm saying? He's actually in here, Flash, and he does be with Gordon, and he's very corrupt, just like he is in the comic book. And you also had Gillian B. Loeb. Now, the only thing with Gillian B. Loeb, in the film, he's actually played by an African-American actor. He's not like a Caucasian like he was in the Year One novel. He's actually an African-American in this film. Then like other characters, like I said, the villains that show up, you have Victor Sass. He even shows up, and he's like a villain of Batman from the comics, what I'm saying? But the film, I thought this was really a really good film, and I liked like the realistic feel and like nature of the film, and it had like the direction by Christopher Nolan, who directed it, and he also had a hand in the screenplay. I thought he did a good stylish job on the film, and David Goyer, he wrote the story and the screenplay, which is pretty good. I'm saying, I like how they kept it like very realistic. That's what I really enjoyed the most about the Batman Begins film. It was like very realistic. You really could believe this Batman, I know Hans Zimmerman and James Newton Howard, they did the music for the film, which was also like good, had like a good score, I thought it was cool. It actually runs with like the previous Batman films, themes, what I'm saying? I thought they did like a good job with those. And other people, the other stars that show up in this film is like Rutger Hauer as Earl William, and he's like the CEO of Wayne Enterprises, and I thought he was kind of cool. Then you have Ken Watanabe, the Asian actor. He's also in this film as Ra's al Ghul. But in the end, I'm going to spoil it. In the end, it turns out that it was really Liam Neeson who was really Ra's al Ghul. Now, some of the elements of the film, you could tell that Christopher Nolan was kind of hitting. That was like when Bruce Wayne was like traveling the world and stuff like that. You could tell clearly that Bruce Wayne was really like a homeless, like a homeless. I mean, you could kind of tell that for some reason I was a homeless person, undercover. What I'm saying? Kind of peeped that I was really, like a homeless person. He was just out, on the streets or something like that, and probably had a lot of wealth. I'm saying, Bruce Wayne is a billionaire, Now the film, like my only flaws with the film too at times, it was like the fight sequences that Christopher Nolan filmed. They were still fun, but at times you really can't. And they were saying a lot. You can't see what's going on. Like when Batman is like having like fights and stuff. You really can't. Like her character, she was kind of annoying at times somewhat. But I thought she was okay though. She still was okay, and I thought she was cool to kind of she was cool, okay. But like some of like the stuff that she was saying, you can clearly tell that she probably was kind of annoying Bruce Wayne at times, but I thought she was pretty, she was okay in it, But yeah, like when I originally saw this film, I thought it was just okay, but it eventually grew on me, and I began to like really like it a lot, and I would consider it my favorite film. But if you're like new to the Batman films, what I'm saying, like you're looking at the Batman film for the first time, I would recommend like the the Tim Burton 2 films and the Joel Schumacher films, that era, you know, especially the Tim Burton ones. If you're trying to get into like a Batman film for the first time, could they just direct with it and it's more, you know what I'm saying, like more cooler, you know, like they just, you know what I'm saying, boom. But Batman Begins, it kind of takes like a while, you know, but you may like it, you know what I'm saying. It's still like it really was aimed at the fans, the real fans of the series, you know what I'm saying. That film, that's why I say I kind of feel like, you know what I'm saying, I would recommend the earlier Batman films over Batman Begins. But I would actually consider Batman Begins, like, I think I would actually consider my favorite Batman film. And I'm kind of still iffy about it because I liked the Tim Burton ones, you know, and like Joel Schumacher. So it's like I don't want to knock them to the side, you know. I still prefer the Batman the most. Like the look of like the Tim from the first Batman film. That suit is still just so cool to me, you know what I'm saying. But the bat suit in this film it's cool. And I also thought like the look of Gotham City, it was cool. I was saying it runs with like the Tim Burton ones. It has like a dark look to it, and it's very realistic, and that's what I really liked it the most about Batman Begins. You know, it really had like a very realistic like look for it, you know what I'm saying. I really enjoyed that the most about it, like the realistic, you can truly believe in this world, you know, that the feel of it, you know. And at times when Batman is just like posing or like chilling on the rooftop with his cape blowing, like flapping in the wind, that's awesome, you know. I thought that was so cool the way Christopher Nolan did that, you know. So yeah, this is my review for this is Batman Begins, and this is my review for it. I would recommend this, and I still really believe this was aimed at the Batman crowd, like the Batman fans, you know, like me or whatever, like I was saying. I still can't believe that it was really these were really aimed at us. You know what I'm saying? And it takes a lot of elements from Batman Year 1 too. Like I said, it has like characters like Arnold Flash, you know, with Flash in it, and it has Gillian B. Loeb in it. You know what I'm saying? The swarm bat scene, like when Batman's inside the building, like he calls a swarm of bats, just like he did in the graphic novel. But in this film, he's like an Arkham Asylum, I believe, and he calls like a swarm of bats. Like a whole bunch of bats, you know what I'm saying? They come flying all around, and then he makes his escape into his vehicle. Well, yeah, which is the Tumbler. It's like the Batmobile in this film, but they call it the Tumbler. Now the Tumbler, I didn't really like that much. I didn't really care for it too much. I thought it was okay, but I'm not that big on vehicles or whatever. I still prefer like the Tim Burton and Joel Schumacher Batmobiles. Those were cool, you know. Like the Tumbler here, I didn't really care for it that much. I mean, it was okay, but I didn't really like the look of it that much or whatever. But my big high points of the film, I liked the Scarecrow. Cillian Murphy, I thought he was pretty good as because you know he's in 28 Days Later. He was in Red Eye, and he's also in Inception too. You know, all those kind of films, which is another Christopher Nolan film. And he's like British or whatever. He's like, you know, like European or whatever. I thought he was good as Jonathan Crane, and that's one of my favorite characters. I have always liked the Scarecrow. You know what I'm saying? Like from like the animation and stuff like that. I always thought he was like a cool character, especially on the Batman animated series. That's why I really liked him a lot. I thought he was like a cool character, you know. And he's interesting because he has like the fear toxins and stuff, you know. And he was like a former doctor, you know, himself, you know. That kind of, you know, saying started doing that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying. I thought he was a cool, and I was a villain I really liked the most in this film was the Scarecrow, Jonathan Crane. I liked him the most. But you have Ra's al Ghul, and you have Falcone, you know what I'm saying, there, and like I told you, get like a little hint of Victor Sass too as well in the film, you know. Now towards the end of the film, you get a little tease from the Joker, letting you know that he would be in the next film, and I thought that was kind of a cool way to end the film, and the bat signal was brought in too towards the end, you know. But yeah, this is my review for Batman Begins. As you can see, the version I had like a hologram cover to it. As it reflects, you see Batman right there. Then it changes into like bats and stuff. They came like with a slip application though. So yeah, this is my review for your Batman Begins, and this is from 2005. That's when this was released. And like I said before, if you're like new to the Batman film series, I would really recommend I wouldn't really recommend going to these. I would recommend if you're looking for a Batman film and you've never seen a Batman movie, you probably should watch the Tim Burton ones. You know, I know they're kind of like probably old or whatever, but I mean you should probably look at those first. You know what I'm saying? I would really recommend this for fans. But I would recommend it because it's well done. You probably would like it, you know, but you can still feel like it's really aimed at it, and it has like a very realistic feel to it. Like I was saying, that's why I really liked it about Batman Begins. So I would highly recommend this. And I would consider this my favorite. I'm still kind of off with it. I kind of still prefer like the other films, you know, like the Tim Burton's or the Joel Schumacher. I think I would actually consider this my favorite Batman film, Batman Begins. So this is JBAT'S review for Batman Begins.
Batman Begins is a great film. I would highly recommend this film, you know. But I would mostly recommend this for like Batman fans, you know. If you're like new to the Batman films, I'd still probably suggest like the Tim Burton films or the Joel Schumacher films. But the Christopher Nolan film, you know what I'm saying, that it's real good, but I still believe at times that it was aimed at the Batman fans because it has like a very realistic tone, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I really liked it about the film a lot, you know. Batman Begins, it had like a very realistic tone to it that makes Batman, you know, you can really believe that this Batman